morning everybody, hope you're all healthy and safe. Let us continue with our chapter 7 on spectral decomposition. So in today's lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to actually learn properties of some different an operator which we will be defining. So in the previous lecture also we had done the same. We used lemma and all and to define an operator called phi of A, so in this lecture we shall begin by defining a function or an element in the set K of AB. So consider the function E lambda of t equal to 1 for t less than equal to lambda and 0 for t greater than lambda. Okay, so clearly this function is an element. Why? Because it is piecewise continuous and it is bounded. The maximum value it can attain is 1 and the minimum is 0. So it is clearly bounded function, and also it is piecewise continuous by the definition itself. So it is an element of K of AB. Now what we are going to do is we are going to define E lambda to be equal to E lambda of A. Okay, that is now how can we be sure about this E lambda of A? That is because we have seen in the previous lectures and all that corresponding to an element in K of AB we can define an operator phi of A, right? If phi of t is an element of K of AB, then phi of A can be defined with the help of a sequence of polynomials. Since we are considering E lambda of t, and as it is an element of K of AB, we can always find E lambda of A. Okay, it's just an operator. So we are defining an operator E lambda, capital E lambda is equal to small e lambda of A. So in today's lecture we shall be discussing some properties of this E lambda. Okay, so the properties. First one is E lambda are ortho projections. Now we shall be discussing it in detail. I'll just read out the 4 properties. E lambda are ortho projections. So ortho projections mean they must be a projection as well as they must be symmetric. Next one, it is continuous from the right with respect to lambda. Okay. The third one is E lambda into, this is E mu. Okay, E lambda into E mu is equal to E lambda itself for lambda less than mu. Okay, this is not true always. This is true only when lambda is less than mu. Then for any operator, self-adjoint operator A, E lambda into A is equal to A into E lambda. So we shall be discussing these properties in detail in today's lecture. And there is one more thing that I have to say, that is these 3 properties together, if we consider, so all the E lambdas which satisfies, or you can say the family of E lambda satisfying these 3 properties is called a spectral family. Okay, it is called a spectral family, or sometimes it is called as decomposition of identity. Okay, these are the 2 names given to the family which satisfies the 3 properties. That is, the first one is ortho projections, the continuity property, and E lambda into E mu is equal to E lambda for lambda less than mu. Okay, so let us see, or let us study these properties in detail. Let us prove these properties. So first property is E lambda forms an ortho projection, right? Now E lambda is an ortho projection. So for that, first I'm going to show that E lambda square equals E lambda. That means it forms a projection, right? Now corresponding to this we have small e lambda square of A should be equal to E lambda of A, right? Now for a less than or equal to lambda into I, we have E lambda of A into E lambda of A will be the identity operator itself, right? So that is same as E lambda of A. I hope you are getting it, because we have defined the function to be E lambda of t is 1 when t is less than or equal to lambda, and 0 when t is greater than lambda. So correspondingly, if we write E lambda of A, that is the operator, this will become I instead of 1. This is a 0 operator, and A less than or equal to lambda I, A greater than lambda. Okay, so for A less than or equal to lambda I, we have E lambda of A is I itself. So E lambda of A into E lambda of A is I into I, that is again I, that is again E lambda of A. Now for A greater than lambda, we have E lambda of A. Both E lambda of A, since A is greater than lambda, is 0. That is again the 0 function, which is equal to again E lambda of A. So we get E lambda square of A is equal to E lambda of A, and hence we can say that E lambda square is equal, capital E lambda square is equal to capital E lambda. Okay. Now to prove that it is a projection, we have to show that it is symmetric. So the next one is E lambda is symmetric. Okay. That is in a product E lambda x y should be equal to in a product x E lambda y, right? Or I can write it, or this is E lambda should be equal to E lambda star, both are same. So we'll show this as true. So we have E lambda x, inner product E lambda x y can be written as E lambda of A, small e lambda of A, x comma y, inner product, right? Now we will have two cases. First is when A is less than or equal to lambda into I. What happens? Inner product E lambda A x y will be nothing but identity, right? I of x into y. So this is inner product x comma y. Now I can write y as I into y, right? Both are same. So I can replace this by I of y. So this is nothing but inner product x E lambda y. So when A less than or equal to lambda I, the result is true. Now what happens when A is greater than lambda? When A greater than lambda, inner product small e lambda I of x comma y will be equal to 0, right? It's a 0 operator. Okay, so 0 operator acting on x will lead the value to be 0. So I can write this again as for our convenience or for proving it. This is nothing but x. So this is equal to inner product x capital E lambda y. So clearly E lambda is symmetric. So we have seen that E lambda square is equal to E lambda, and E lambda is symmetric. Therefore E lambda is an ortho projection. Okay, so this is the first property that we had to prove. Now let's see the second one, that is it is continuous. E lambda is continuous from the right with respect to lambda. Okay, now as small e lambda of t, that is a function which we have defined, was an element of K of AB that we have seen, right? We can find by the lemma and all, we can find a sequence of continuous functions, or by the definition we can find a sequence of continuous functions such that phi n of t, it is continuous. I mean, this sequence is a decreasing sequence which converges to e lambda of t, right? So if phi n of t is converging to e lambda of t, then correspondingly we have done an exercise. If phi n of t is a decreasing sequence which converges to e lambda of t, then phi n of a will be converging to e lambda of a strongly. This was an exercise that was given to you guys to just verify, and which we can verify easily using the two lemmas which we have done, lemma 7.0.2 and 7.0.3. So since e lambda of t is an element of K of AB, we can find sequence of continuous function phi n of t which converges decreasingly, or monotonic decreasing sequence which converges to e lambda of t. Then we can say that phi n of a converges to e lambda of a strongly, or I can say phi n of a converges to e lambda. Okay, now also this while choosing this function, continuous function, suppose that this phi n of t is correspondingly greater than equal to e lambda plus 1 by n of t, that is, it is a decreasing sequence and this is the corresponding limit. We are choosing phi n in such a manner, then we can say that phi n of a will be greater than equal to e lambda plus 1 by n. Okay, and this is further greater than equal to lambda. So as n tends to infinity, we can say that e lambda plus 1 by n will tend to e lambda, because phi n of a also tends to e lambda. So e lambda plus 1 by n is a term lying between phi n of a and e lambda. So we can say as phi n of a tends to e lambda, as n tends to infinity, we can say that e lambda plus 1 by n will tend to e lambda. So we can say it is continuous from the right. So the continuity is also checked from the right. Now we shall move on to the third property. What is the third property? We have to show that e lambda into e mu is equal to e lambda for lambda less than mu. So instead of showing this, it is enough to prove that e small e lambda of t into e lambda of mu is e mu of t is equal to e lambda of t for lambda less than mu. So this is what we are going to do. If we prove this, then correspondingly e lambda of a also will satisfy this property, and we get capital E lambda into capital E mu will be equal to capital E lambda for lambda less than mu. Okay, so let us see how we can do it. Now given lambda is less than mu, okay, now we'll have two cases. First is for t less than equal to lambda. Okay, if t is less than equal to lambda, as lambda is less than mu, this implies we can say t is less than equal to lambda is less than mu. So t is also less than or equal to mu. Okay, so we have these two conditions. Then by definition of E lambda of t, what will be the value of E lambda of t? Since t is less than or equal to lambda, E lambda of t is equal to 1, and E mu of t also will be equal to 1 because t is less than or equal to mu also. Therefore, E lambda of t into E mu of t is 1 into 1, that is 1. So that is same as E lambda of t. Okay. So we get E lambda of t into E mu of t is equal to 1 into 1, which is equal to 1, which is E lambda of t itself. Now the next case is for t greater than lambda. So here we are saying that t is greater than lambda. Now we have two other possibilities possible, that is, one is t is either less than or equal to mu, or less than mu, or it is greater than or equal to mu. Okay, so these are the two possibilities. So if t is less than or equal to mu, okay, let's see what will happen. When t is greater than lambda, E lambda of t will be 0 and E mu of t will be 1. So E lambda of t into E mu of t will be 0 into 1, which is 0, and 0 is equal to E lambda of t. Okay. Now the next one is if t is greater than mu. If t is greater than mu, what happens? E mu of t will be 0. Therefore, E lambda of t into E mu of t is again 0 into 0, which is 0, which is, I can say it is equal to E lambda of t. Okay, so in any case we consider we get E lambda of t into E mu of t is equal to E lambda of t. Okay, so correspondingly we can say that capital E lambda into capital E mu will be equal to capital E lambda for lambda less than mu. So that was our third property. Now we have the fourth one, that is E capital E lambda into A is equal to A into capital E lambda. A is a self-adjoint operator. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Now we'll consider this E lambda to be the limit of sequence of polynomials. Why? Because we know that E lambda of t is an element of K of AB. Okay, so we can find a sequence of polynomials Pn such that Pn of t converges to E lambda of t. And how did we define the operator? It was the strong limit of the sequence of operators Pn of A. Okay, is equal to E lambda of A. Right, so this is the definition. This is what we have obtained from the definition of element in K of AB. Now E lambda of A is nothing but E lambda. Okay, so what we do is we just apply this definition to prove this. It is a very simple and easy process. Now we have E lambda into A can be written as limit n tends to infinity Pn of A into A, right? So this is same as A into limit n tending to infinity is not affecting this, so this is same as A into E lambda. Okay, so this can be easily proved. Now there is another thing that we can conclude from the fourth property, that is comparing with the theorem. This is a note that you can make, comparing with theorem 6.4.4. if you are given a projection and a self-adjoint operator, and if they commute, then we can say that E lambda here is the projection, is an ortho projection. So here we just need, in theorem 6.4.4 or in the property 6.4.4, we just need the concept of projection. So we have an extra condition here. So E lambda is a projection, A is the corresponding operator, and we have seen that they commute, that is E lambda A is equal to A into E lambda. Then by property 6.4.4 we can say, that image of E lambda, will be an invariant subspace of, A. So for those who don't recall property 6.4.4, just go through it. It's saying that if we are having a projection and an operator, and if they commute, then the image and the kernel, they both will be invariant subspaces of the operator. So here also we are given an ortho projection and an operator, and we have just now seen that they commute. So these are the few properties that we had discussed, and as I had mentioned earlier, the property is a family of operators which satisfies the first three properties will be called as the spectral family or decomposition identity. Now, so go through the properties once again, and that's it for today's lecture. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.